So today it's not a lot about religion, it's more about indigenous beliefs. And in 10 minutes I'm going to present how indigenous people and their knowledge contribute to sustainability. So before starting, I want just to show you some of the facts around indigenous people. Nowadays there are 370 million of indigenous people that are spread all over 90 countries in the world, and it entails 5,000 of different cultures. And of these 5,000 of different cultures relates to 7,000 different languages, of which almost half of it, 40%, are endangered. And this is really important this year because United Nations decided that this year is the International Year of Indigenous Languages and Indigenous Knowledge. Why is this so important for conservation and sustainability? These indigenous people, they are allocated in the world in 18% of the surface. The spots here shows the different languages in the world that are related with indigenous people. And even though they are located in this small portion of land, 18% of the Earth's surface, these places also host 80% of biodiversity of the world. So their territories are in the really high biodiversity hotspots of land. And but the problem here is that this land is so threatened, as indigenous culture is also threatened by different drivers of change that normally come from our Western style of life. And these basically are related with, this is the expansion of soya crop in South America, and this photo was taken in the Wichi indigenous territory, and they are displaced by soya. The same happens with oil palm that is now spreading in Asia, but also in Central and South America and the tropics. And in this case, this photo was taken in the Maya Quechua territory, and they are displaced from the valley to the mountains. So it entails a lot of conflicts. It entails that they are now setting in smaller areas, and also that they cannot control the expansion of these crops. But at the same time, it's happening the same regarding mining companies. These are Quechua people in Bolivia, again being displaced by the mining companies in the Andes, or these are the Guarani people in Ecuador, in the Amazonia, that they are also now fighting, not really displaced yet, to avoid that the oil companies settle there. But why is this so important for sustainability? And why the indigenous knowledge? Indigenous knowledge is understood as a body of knowledge, practice, traditions, and beliefs, and this how it connects with today's 10 minutes, that concerns the relation between humans and their territory and the nature surrounding them, and also between different people in that environment. And the problem here is that this knowledge is normally transmitted orally through generations. So we do not have records of the information. We do not have even writing tests about many indigenous language and knowledge about their traditions, beliefs, and practices. But based on this knowledge, what we have seen and assessed so far is the importance of this knowledge for sustainability practice. This is a paper I have been working with other colleagues all over the world, mapping the indigenous practices that contribute to increase pollinators diversity, now that we are in the pollinators crisis. And you can see that these practices are spread all over the world, and they are so rich in preserving not only domestic bees, but also wild pollinators, including birds like hummingbirds and also insects. And also, sometimes when I explain the importance of indigenous knowledge, I come up with, some people come up with a question like, yeah, but they hunt and they fish and they kill animals. Yes, that's true, as these photographs already show. But they do in a different way, because so far what I have witnessed working with different indigenous communities is that the relation between the hunters and the animal hunted, it's a kind of kinship relation. So, for instance, Inuit people, here they consider the polar bear one of the oldest members of their family from past generations, and when they are in the moment to hunt the animal, they ask for permission. And it depends how the polar bear look at them, they decide to hunt or not. Because if they don't proceed, if they don't do this procedural, it's understood as a lack of respect to the animal, and therefore the animal then is allowed to kill people, Inuit people. So when it happens that there are attacks of polar bears to Inuit people, they understand that somebody in the community broke the rule. And it's this kinship. Even when they kill this animal, they use all parts of the animal, so there are no wastes. The same happened with the Waroni in Ecuador. They hunt a lot, and even I think in some areas they overhunt. But they do not hunt the jaguar, and they do not do anything with the large carnivore, the jaguar, because this animal is considered the keeper of the spiritual wall in Amazonia. So for them, preserving the praise of the jaguar and the jaguar itself is a must, because the jaguar preserves their soul and the soul of the Amazonia. And this drawing is from Indian tribes, have been there in October, and it's exactly the same they were drawing, and this is a mix of cultures, because it mixes the oldest culture of having the tiger and the leopard as gods mixed with the Hinduism. So this represents Shiva, which is one of the three most important gods in Hinduism, relate and intertwine with the tiger and the jaguar. And the tiger, even now, it's killing around 400 people per year. In India, they do not attack the tiger, these Indian tribes, because it's considered the vehicle, the channel of movement for different gods in Hinduism and in the old religion of them. So even with that, they respect the fact that it's a god and they cannot kill it, even when the tiger is attacking 400 people per year. So it's so interesting. But it's not, 10 minutes, right? It's not only about species, it goes also about natural resources. Here, the Kuna people in Panama, I was living with them for 6 months, and I was so tired of not having a shower with fresh water. And I asked them, when I can have a shower, because you just swim in the sea? And they told me, no rain, no fresh water. So they are really adapted to the natural cycles. And the same happened with the food that I have during these 6 months was only one species of fish and cocoa, because they cannot fish other things. So they are really adapted to what is there without bringing resources from elsewhere. And these are also examples of sustainable use of water in the Andes. They have to ask the mountains permission for doing the irrigation channels. If they don't do, they think that the Pachamama will punish them. And when there is really problems of water scarce, they are putting these nets that are really sustainable to catch the water from the fog. And this is like indigenous knowledge mixed with Western science knowledge. So all of these examples, I hope that with all of these examples you get an idea how different indigenous beliefs and knowledge all over the world can contribute to sustainability. Yes.